like
Echo.
echoes and
Robust.
yeah, like how can you make it sound like it's in a cathedral or make it sound like it's in a small room, bigger room. So this is like once you get your good level, once you get your good mix, your monitors are good. Now you want to add a little bit of icing on top. You want to make it a little more big. A lot of times putting a little bit of echo on a guitar makes it sound bigger. Or there's a number of different options you can choose here, and you can just like look and listen and figure out. But basically, you use this one to select which of the effects you want. So you choose I want a cathedral effect, number 1. Then
this is really interesting.
Yeah.
so you can
All
choose
these are
which one.
effects.
And you can listen to each one of them. And then here is how much of this it's sending out. And just like this, you want to keep it at 0 because it's a good level. And if it's all the way down, you won't hear anything. So once that's okay, then you can choose what signal you send to that effect.
Right.
So you have echo. Okay, good level. Okay, what needs echo? Vocals need echo? Okay, bring up a little bit. Guitar needs echo? Bring up. Violin needs echo? Bring up. Now here you have 2, so you can do 2 effects. So you can have echo and then you can have a delay, which is like you play and you hear the sound again. Da, da, you can have it. So you can do a second one. So again, you choose the number, let's say, I don't know if there's a delay here somewhere, but let's say, you chose a gated reverb, 21. And then you figure out it's a good sound to have 2. You click it, stops blinking, now it's selected.
And the way you clicked it, you pushed it.
Yeah, just push those. It's
Right.
push.
Push the black knob.
Yeah. So if you're moving, it's blinking. It's not selected. You won't hear it. If you just leave it there, you have to. Now it's selected.
Right.
So let's say 21. Make sure it's at 0. And then okay, what do I want to send into that one? A little bit of vocals. Okay. A little bit of guitar. A little bit of violin.
But we are using separate amplifier for guitar. We don't use this for guitar. We have a
No,
separate.
not yet.
Right. Unless you were miking your guitar, but then again, you usually want to the guitar they would know what sound they want to begin with, So they could so you don't have to worry about it for the guitar. It's primarily for vocals, acoustic guitar, if he doesn't have any effects, violin or whatever,
Because in the future, we may want to get a DI box. We have actually some DI boxes, and I think that's what Jesse was probably, kind of, alluding to, because if, for instance, like if he has a DI box, you take your DI box, right, and he can plug it into the snake, right, and maybe that might go in channel 8, and if you decide to do that, then you can go ahead and work that system, do the mixing. Echo, whatever, reverb, or some songs, or whatever.
And then ultimately, the final one here is pan. And pan is what I was saying is the left and right. So in the middle, the sound is equally on that speaker as it's there. Same sound. If for some reason you want to get a sound and you want to move it a little bit towards that speaker, so there's more of the sound coming out of that than here, and then it gives the illusion that the sound is on this side. That's how our brain works. It's like you're changing how loud, then our brain thinks it's on this side. If you make it sound it's more on this side, you can move it here. So right. Now the sound is more over there. It's not 100%. If you did all the way, which is called hard panning, all the way right, there's no sound of that speaker, only here. So let's say it's you're mixing, it sounds good, it's like, okay guys, sounds great, and somebody walks out and says, oh yeah, by the way, I don't hear any vocals on this speaker, but I hear over there. And it's like, oh, well, the speaker's turned on, and everything here is turned on, why do I hear only one side? It's check the panning. It might be all the way to one side, that's why you're not hearing it. So put it back on the middle, then you hear on both, and then same thing in the opposite. And again, for live, I usually try to always keep it in the middle. I usually do more of this for like recordings in studio. Like when you listen to a song, sometimes the engineer will put a little bit of guitar here, a little bit here. But if there's two guitar players, if I put one here and here to make it sound, a little more unique. Maybe if you have two guitar players that are playing the same thing, you might want to split them. Who knows? Maybe overall sound, it might sound good if they're separate. You experiment. So there's no right or wrong. It's really just what sounds good and what's right for that specific scenario.
Okay.
Standard, you want to keep it in the middle.
What's the orange here?
So effects to aux. So you could also send. So when you put the effects here, you're gonna hear the effects in the house. But if you wanted to, you could also have the effects going to the monitors. So let's say your vocalist, like, oh, I want to hear my voice, but I also want to hear my voice with a little bit of echo also. So then you can send this effects 1 or your echo to your aux 1, which is monitor 1, or aux 2, monitor 2. And then effects to main is this one. So, keeping it at 12.
Oh, I see. So this is for one monitor speaker for effect, and this is for the other monitor speaker for the effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could also send effects to the monitors. Sometimes that's what your vocalist wants. Maybe they want to hear a little bit of that echo. Because if you don't have it on, you only hear it in the house.
Is this a third monitor?
This is effects to main. So this is this is the main sound. So it's almost like a second one of this, except that this one is specifically for this. This one kind of controls. If you have this down and still have this up, and you can still hear this on your monitors, for example. But if you have this up and this is up, you can hear it in the house too. So again, just keep it at 12. Keep it at 12 because this is gonna affect too. This is down, which is FX to main. This is down. You won't hear it in the main house. So keep it at 12.
And these two? Because I'm
Same
confused.
Thing. So this is effects 2 for monitor 1, monitor 2. This is effects 1 for monitor 1 and monitor 2. So this is the second effect.
I see.
So it's like,
So
I
you
want reverb and the delay also on my own.
I see. So you got effects for one monitor, right? Mm-hmm. And you got effects for the second monitor. I see. Interesting. Okay.
There's a lot of flexibility with this board. You can do a lot.
Okay. And then also, for instance, this black one right here, this controls like if say for instance channel 1, if you turn it over all the way over on one side, but then you'll hear your sound coming from maybe one speaker.
Just at one side. Yeah.
Okay, one side. Okay, and to keep this up, it keeps sound coming from both sides.
It's equally distributed.
Okay.
In the middle, it's equally distributed.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's in the middle. And if you start moving it, then it's gonna move the sound either left or right.
Okay.